Kristin, hello. Thank you for meeting with me via Zoom today. We were together last week in Denver at the Community Summit Roadshow. It was so great to see you as always. And we were chatting about directions. So thank you for agreeing to meet with me today. And let me ask you a couple of questions about your directions experience. So first, when was your first conference, your directions conference?
I attended my first Directions North America back in 2022. So I've only been to three of them. This year will be my fourth. And I love the conference. So I'm happy to attend every year from here on forward.
So I love this question because everybody's answer is similar. Like it's like, well, I don't know how much I want to reveal. Your favorite directions memory, whether it be a keynote, a session, an after hours. Everybody always goes to the after hours because it's so much fun, right? So what is your favorite directions memory?
There's two of them that come to mind. My first one that I'll talk about is last year. I was able to be a co-presenter with Sean Dorward, and he's been someone that I've looked up, at in the community for years and years, probably over 10 years since I've been in the community. And so it was pretty surreal being able to lead a session with him. So that's probably number one. And then number two definitely is an after hours event. Every year there's an awesome party, some event that Directions does. And I remember very vividly going to one of the parks in Orlando and hanging out with some of the Microsoft folks and just riding some rides, maybe some shenanigans, things like that. But that party that night, that'll go down in history as being one of the top three events for sure.
I mean, always with all the stories, I've been so fortunate with this, 20 years, 20 interviews project of getting to talk to so many people and the stories of the parties and the after conference time, it just drives home that feeling of community. And this community works so hard. I can't think of a person that isn't just working so hard, but we also play hard. So work
Yep.
hard to play hard. So I love that story. Over your time being at Directions, the last 4 years, I think you said,
Mhm.
how has the conference helped you stay one step ahead or stay ahead? I'll let you kind of interpret that question how you want to, but how has it helped you to stay ahead?
Well, I think from a learning perspective, being able to go and learn from other experts in the community is definitely huge. Microsoft also shows up, so getting to see some of that cutting edge and talking with them about some issues that clients are having and things like that also is huge. But for me as a smaller partner, I'm always watching what everyone else is doing, whether it's the ISVs or other partners, my competitors, things like that. I'm watching them and I'm learning. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not a marketing person, but I have to do all of that in my business. So I'm watching, I'm learning, I'm having conversations, building my network. And Kate, take you as an example, right? Like I wouldn't have an issue reaching out to you. We know each other. You're willing to help, right? And that's really what this community is about, is helping everybody, even if we are competitors. So for me, that's the biggest thing that's a takeaway for me, is just being able to walk in and walk out inspired. I've learned, my head hurts, my feet hurt, all of those things.
Yeah, we did a webinar a couple of weeks ago about, how much we just love this community and being such an active part in it. What advice would you give someone that is attending Directions for the first time that may be brand new to this community? What's something that you would tell them to help them as they transition into it?
Oh, that's a tough question, Kate. I would say make sure to show up ready to learn, ready to network, kind of let your wall down. Make sure that you know what sessions you're going to be going to, have that ready to go. questions written out that you have. Um, Also make a point to like talk to people. You know, we're kind of in this digital world where everybody's working from home. We really only see each other at conferences in person, but a lot more people are posting content like this, these video interviews, podcasts, things like that. So I think that also gives the newbies kind of a leg up. They already recognize you. You feel a little bit approachable, hopefully, to them. But yeah, my advice would be get out there and learn as much as you can, talk to as many people as you can. And to our last call, Kate, since you brought it up, you mentioned something on that last call we were on, that after you meet people, you like kind of pause and you write down notes about them. And that's something that I'm going to be doing this year. Like if I've never met you before, I'm horrible with names. So just know that if you meet me. But I'm going to make it a point to write down, you know, what we talked about, little things that made us connect and that will help that connection for future. So that's my advice for the newbies is network, network, network.
You know what, Kristen, I agree with all of that. And I think that planning is so important. For me, that's one of the things that I've talked about before is going into it with a plan and having an idea of who you want to meet and why, and knowing anyone that's new in this community. I always say this, we're here to help you. If there's someone you want to meet, ask me. If I don't know, I know lots of people that do know.
Mm-hmm.
So that is always my advice is plan. Don't just walk in, you know, if I build it, they will come kind of mentality. But walk in with a plan of, you know, of what you want to accomplish. So
Yeah.
I love all of that. I am so excited to see directions growing every year. Every year it just gets bigger and bigger. This is my third year. And it's just more and more every year. It's exciting to see. So, last question, what keeps you coming back to directions every year?
The learning opportunities, being able to talk with Microsoft, marketing, learning marketing. There's a lot of marketing sessions there as well. And we keep saying networking, but you know, I have some lifelong friends in this community, and the only time I get to see them are at events like this too. So that's another reason that I really like to go, is just because I can continue building those connections as well. And you kind of have, you build this network of where you can just call people, you know, things like that. So it's really important to go. And I will say too that if you are newer to the space, kind of going back to that beginning, that's question before this one, if you're newer to the space, like those connections are going to be huge for your career too. I didn't get to where I'm at by accident by any means. Someone believed in me, and that's how I got into the space. But also, it's really cool to go to these conferences, and then it never fails. Like after conferences, you start seeing people like shifting around to different companies too. It just kind of happens organically, I guess. But it's good to continue to go to these things and put the effort in and put the hard work in and give back to the community too. So that's another reason that I continue to go is they keep selecting my sessions, so I have to keep going. So
Hello, Kristen out of Mount Evans Consulting. Thank you so much for chatting with me. It is always so nice to see you. You say you learned from me, I learned from you. That's part of this community and what's so beautiful about it. I will see you in April. So cheers to growth and directions growing.
thank you, Kate.